Name's Vincent. Salon Ministries, a ministry from behind the chair. Anyway, hey, I thought we'd talk about Jesus and his need of some TLC. Jesus needs some love too. We always think about, we're always asking God for this, asking God for that, and praying for this and praying for that. But do we ever think that, it's hard to imagine that God needs some love too. He wants, it's like a reciprocal thing. It's just not always taking. Sometimes you got to give back. You got to spend some time with Jesus and just thank him and sit in his presence and just kind of love him. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to think that Jesus could actually have that kind of a need, right? Because you think of God of the universe. He's created the moon, the stars, the sun. He's created everything. He's the great I am. There's the wrath of the Lamb. There's this, there's that. But you never think that God needs your love. He needs your love too. And then it's kind of difficult to understand that sometimes, but God's a man. God's God, and he was man, and he has emotions. He has feelings. He gets hurt. He gets angry, right? You see that in the Old Testament. You see it in the New Testament. You definitely see it in the Old Testament when he's upset, and you see it in the New Testament when Jesus was upset. But God created us. He didn't need us, right? He didn't need us. But he wanted us. He wanted someone to fellowship with, someone to communicate with, someone to love and be loved. Just like families, right? He created the family. And family is the same thing, right? Created man, woman, child. A strand of three cords aren't broken easily, right? And why? It's because of relationship, of connection, of love. So Jesus requires sometimes that you love him back too. Just sitting in his presence, just asking him for nothing, just being around him. Yeah. You know how you like to be around somebody you love, right? You're not asking them for anything all the time. You just kind of want to be around them. You want to hang out with them because you love them. Same thing with God. He wants you to hang out with him sometimes. Just kind of love on him, for lack of a better way to put it. When I think of an old, it's not that old, but it's old now, Keith Green, an old Christian artist who's long passed away. And his music still resonates today more than any music ever, any Christian music, as far as I'm concerned, ever. His songs are just as strong today as they were 30, 40 years ago. And why? You know why? Because he sings about the love of Jesus. He himself was in love with Jesus. So much that it came through his music all the time. He just had this deep relationship with Jesus, a deep love for God, and it just kind of poured out of him, And that's something I think we're missing today. We're missing it in our own walk a lot of times because we just don't see Jesus as someone who needs something. He's always someone who's giving something, right? But he never needs anything. Well, he does need something. He needs some love. He's fighting this old battle, of life. He needs that reciprocal love. I don't know how else to put it. And I just know we don't think in that context when we're praying, right? We don't sit there and just think, oh, I'm just going to sit there and just bask in the presence of God and just tell him how much I love him and act like I'm putting my arms around him or something, right? You do that to your wife. You hug your wife. You hug your children. You hug your mom, your dad, right? You hug your dog. Jesus needs some love too. And it's kind of a odd sermon or whatever you want to call it, right? But anyway, there's a little devotional here I want to talk about, and I'm just going to read it real quick about loving God. It says, how little man knows and senses my need, talking about Jesus, my need for love and companionship. I come to draw men unto me, and sweet it is to feel the heart strong near in love, not so much for help as much is for tender communication, tender comradeship. Many know the need of man, right? Few know the need of Christ. So that's just, again, speaking about God's need to be connected also. Years ago when I did some missionary work, and when I was leaving the mission field, was trying to decide again what road I was supposed to take. I thought maybe I should stay in missions. I should be an evangelist. I should be this. I should be that. And it was time for me to make a decision. So one night, late in prayer on this campus, I was YWAM, Youth with a Mission. I don't know if anybody knows about that. I was in the library late at night and trying to decide which way to go. And God slowly brought me to like 5 different books that all said the same thing. It was a reiteration of and 5 different books, the exact same thing. And it was a pretty clear direction. And it all came down to this. God wasn't looking for at least initially, for me to be this or that, or trying to find this position, trying to find where I fit. What like again, like the calling of God is like some type of a place. That's a whole nother sermon. Like some kind of an area, some kind of a position. And here's what God told me. It's not about. It's about that, but that's not what it's about. What it's about is all it is coming to a place in your life where you're connected with me again. And the Lord told me, first 30 years of my life, I did my own thing. Then I got saved, went on the mission field. And the Lord basically said to me, I've been waiting 30 some years for you to get to this point. Just to this, here's the point. The point of just being connected with me again. Not wanting some, not looking for a position, not looking where you fit, just connecting with me again. Spending time with me. Loving me. Hearing my voice. Reading my word, right? Because that's what you do if you really like somebody, right? You want to be around them, you want to hang around them, you want to know what they want, you want to know what they like, you want to know what they're about, right? Oh, God's the same way. Hello, it's not that complicated. We make it sound like it's such a complicated thing, and we got to get in these unbelievable holy states and approach God, and crawling on your knees. And do you hear what I'm saying? He just wants to be connected again. And it was like a revelation to me, because I always thought, where do I go next? What do I do? And Lord was like, you already did it. You're back with me. We're connected again. Now it's almost like, go do whatever you want. Just stay connected with me. And here's the thing. If God does call you to do something in particular, because you're connected with him all the time, you're staying close to him, you're loving him, he'll show you the way. He'll show you what's next, what's going to happen next, which way to go. So you don't got to figure it out on your own accord. Where do I fit? You fit because you're reconnected. And as you stay connected, that life force, Jesus, directs you in the way you should go. So you don't want to put the cart before the horse. Okay? You first want to know Jesus. You first want to love Jesus. You first want to stay connected with Jesus. And then the rest of whatever your life is supposed to do, or whoever you're supposed to be for Christ, will happen. It'll happen naturally, not because you're beating your head against the wall trying to figure out where you fit. So spend some time. Love Jesus. He needs some love. He requires some love too. He is love, right? He is love. And love needs to be reciprocal. Can't just be one way all the time. So that's it. That's it in a nutshell. Jesus is love, right? God is love. And love needs to be reciprocated. So something to think about next time you're approaching God, right? And for as we frantically approach God for everything you can think of, right? But we don't ever frantically approach him just to sit there and bask in his presence and just kind of feel his love and try to give him your love back, right? All right, that's it. And that's all I have to say about that. James Vincent, License to Style, and talk about the Lord. See you.